Okay, so the next assignment, we are going to be looking at learning task 1-2, which is impact of heart disease. So you are going to use this Google slideshow. So if you right click, you can open it up in a new tab. You will need to make a copy of this. And then you're going to use some statistics to show the size of the impact where it's appropriate. So let's have a look. We've got some information here, which is the Heart and Stroke Foundation. We've got some information from the Conference Board of Canada and 2009 Tracking Heart Disease and Stroke in Canada. So the rubric that will open up inside the assignment box, just like you did for the last assignment, is here. Is here. So what's the expectation? That you organize your information in a very logical manner, that you complete it shouldn't be completely scientific writing to communicate with your teacher. So make sure you're not speaking to me in tech speak. You use scientific vocabulary and terminology in a good way. You describe all impacts of the disease or the disorder on the indicated area of society with a high degree of effectiveness. You rate the magnitudes. We're going to talk about this on the indicated areas of society. So the economy, employment, family, individual, healthcare system with a high degree of effectiveness. And you provide statistics. So let's go back over here and look at this learning task more specifically. So what you've got is a slide template that's over here that's to summarize the impact of heart disease in Canada on one slide. So you're going to add the impact to each category that they're attached to the main idea. So for example, add ideas to what the economic impacts of heart disease are under the subtopic of economy. So let's look here. And if we look, so impacts of heart disease in Canada. So basically, we want to find out some information and some statistics from these different places about the impact of heart disease in Canada on the economy, the impact of heart disease in Canada on family, the impact on the healthcare system, impact maybe on TV, media, advertising, impacts on individuals, and impacts on employment. So when we go back out to this, you've got a link to a Government of Canada website. And basically, it's going to give you a bunch of information. So a conservative estimate is that 1.6 million Canadians have heart disease or are living with the effects of a stroke. So that's kind of a big deal, right? If you were to go back over here, how is an individual being impacted? You might be able to pull a piece of information from there or a statistic, and you would create a text box beside it with some of that information. You might find that you have to swing some of these things around, and that's okay too. You can move the arrows and make some space. You might find that you'd rather just create a sidebar. I think if you just pulled one per each area for now, that would be fine. We do come back to it. Okay, so for your individual, to me, that's kind of a really interesting thing, right? That's a pretty big estimate, and that's conservative. So that might be something that I share. CDC have a major impact on individuals and families. Okay, so if we look back over here, we were also looking for some sort of statistic that had to do with families. So if we read through these, we can see there's quite a few deaths. Oh, 2/3 of people living with the effects of stroke, 1/3 need help. So there's a huge impact on a family, right? About 2/3 of the people living with the effects of a stroke and 1/3 of those with heart disease need help with the activities activities of daily living, like personal care. That might be something that you share as an interesting impact of heart disease around family. So what else? Can we find some things? Men versus women. I don't think we were looking for that. Nope. We expect it to go up. Here's some more tips on the economic impact. So that'll help fill in here. You might be able to pull some employment things as you read through there as well. So you should, through this page, be able to find quite a few things. The other piece of information that we've got is the link here. So mortality due to heart disease and stroke. So you might find an interesting statistic here about how it impacts the individual, right? Because of their likelihood to die, right? So you could pull something interesting here that you might like to use. And then you've also got this website where you can find some other information as well. So let's go back. I think we got this. This one might actually have, like the Heart and Stroke Foundation. You might see some pieces about how things are advertised on TV and in the media. So this one would probably help. Yeah, right after a heart attack, climber takes aim at Everest. Heart disease and diabetes impacts Cape Breton family. So there's some interesting ones that are falling in the media range related to the impacts of heart disease in Canada. And then you should have been able to find some impacts for the healthcare system while you're reading through that information too. So if you find this template is not going to give you the space that you need, just duplicate. So if you're on a Chromebook, you just highlight the slide and Control D and duplicate your slide. And that's fine. You can delete off the ones that you're not highlighting on that slide. And you don't have to give a ton of information, but you do need to hit every category and try to find something, that you think that really stands out as an impact of heart disease in Canada. Once you are done, this one also needs to go into the Dropbox or the assignment box. So you can do it two ways. File. Oh, am I offline? No, I can't be offline. I'm recording. Hopefully it was still recording while it kicked me offline. I'd be really sad if it didn't catch that. Okay, so hopefully that was still recording. So you're going to go to File, and you can download as, just do it as a PowerPoint, or you could do it as a PDF. It's up to you. Take them both ways. And then you are going to go to the assignment box. So assignment box for number 2, this is this one here. I'm still viewing it as a student. So this is the way you're going to see it. We saw the rubric, but we can see it again to double check before we hand everything in. So your information for your rubric and how you'll be graded is there. You would add your file. If you've downloaded it, it would be on your computer. If you are just pulling it because it's the most recent file you were playing with in Google Drive, you should be able to, see how that comes up straight away. And then I would add that and make sure that I hit the final submit button that was down under that corner. Okay. So that is it for the impact of heart disease. Just find some really cool, interesting information, some stats, and feel free to use as many slides as you think you need.